Hello everyone, Rex here. Welcome back to the channel, Rex Tactics. In today's video, I'll be going over the April roadmap for Train Sim World 6, which at the time of me recording was released not too long ago. So yeah, the plan for today is to cover each of these new and upcoming routes, DLCs and future patches to Train Sim World 6, including some screenshots from the article, some community spotlights, and of course, my opinions towards the end. Feel free to leave a comment on what your favourite part of the roadmap is, but without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so coming up on your screen now should be the Train Sim World 6 April roadmap, what to expect, my thoughts and opinions. So, we're going to be looking at the Train Sim World 6 April roadmap for 2026. We have quite a bit in the arriving soon category for the 0 to 3 months, including West Coast Main Line Crewe to Preston, West Coast Main Line Trent Valley, and Tadami Line, just to name a few. We do have a few in the further down the line, release date to be continued as well. Then we do have some improvements like the Meld Main Line Richmond extension, blurred textures and optimizations, and PS5 add-on mountain support, which is very interesting indeed. If you would like to have a look at the roadmap image, you may pause the video now. Likewise, we will be moving on to the content up ahead, what to expect from Dovetail Games, which they are starting with the DBBR 147 releasing this Thursday. So this is for Frankenbahn, Stuttgart to Heilbronn. The new release date for the 147 will be Thursday the 9th of April 2026. So community manager Jan will be joined by technical producer Lucas and special guest Trainzer for showcase livestream to coincide with the launch on Thursday. The BR147 presents the most recent iteration of TRAXX locos, which have been in service across Europe since the late 1990s, featuring a revised cab design to their elder counterpart and a more rugged-looking body. The BR147 offers the latest innovations with modernised controls, functionality and traction packages, all while offering the same tried and tested versatility. Built for passenger use, capable of 160 km per hour and useful on DB Regio services in big cities, replacing older traction on busy lines. The DBBR 147 offers you the chance to time travel and experience Frankenbahn Stuttgart Heilbronn with an all-new 2018 era timetable in which the BR147 is utilised on various regional services. Much like the DBBR 111 in the 2000s timetable, the 147 operates in push-pull configuration with either N-wagons or Dostos, pulling trains to Stuttgart and pushing them to Heilbronn. But not always. Look out for some unique formations in the mix. Go up against the odds and take on unique operations with a trio of scenarios too, weather woes and convoluted convoys await. So that sounds pretty interesting, to be fair. We do have some screenshots here, so here they are. We've got the DBBR 147 near what looks to be like a signal box. Then one that is in the night time with some platform reflections. And of course their little key art as well. It does say here Train Sim World 6 DBBR 147 is releasing on Thursday the 9th of April 2026 for Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, PlayStation 5, Epic Game Store and Steam for €14.99, €17.99 and $17.99. So, that is actually pretty good, to be fair. The price for that is pretty good. Obviously, I don't cover a lot of German stuff, so of course, my opinion is quite biased, but it does look good, to be fair. By biased, I mean I don't really know if it's really good or not, so yeah. Anyways, moving on to announcing the Great British Railways Class 802 BMU. So, starting the roadmap with some new announcements, starting with the Great British Railways Class 802 BMU add-on. You might or might not remember spotting some familiar dovetail faces during the government's unveiling of the new Great British Railways livery for the new nationalised rail service in the UK, where Dovetail Games had the pleasure to work on creating visuals of the new GBR Class 802. So that's very interesting. A BMU or bi-mode multiple unit can be powered by electricity or by their diesel engine depending on what is required. There will be a power changeover mode included with the Class 802 including a tutorial on how to do this. We'll have more info on the future roadmaps about the GBR Class 802, including what kind of timetable services and scenarios you can expect when it comes to Riviera Line and East Coast Main Line. So we already now know 2 routes that we can potentially see the Class 802 on, which, to be fair, it does make sense because obviously, as a lot of people know, the 802s run for Great Western Railway, Hull Trains and Trans-Pennine Express. So it would be quite interesting to see these trains moving around on these routes. We do have some screenshots as well. They do look pretty cool. I will admit I'm not a big fan of the GBR livery, but I will say it does look striking in train sim world, and it sort of feels at home, so I don't know, we'll probably get used to it. But anyways, moving on to Train Sim World Partner Program, what to expect from the third-party devs, starting with the BNSF Electromotive GP60M local from High Iron Simulations, coming soon. Okay, so from High Iron Simulations themselves, the GP60M and sister GP60B rolling stock and full range of gameplay is largely complete and in the testing and refinement stage, so that is pretty good. The pack features the GP60M with both its as-built console control configuration and dash-free rebuilt configuration and in BNSF H2 and H4 liveries respectively. The GP60B is dressed in BNSF H1 livery, and the pack includes a 3-unit articulated spine intermodal car and an ex-Santa FEGA series cement hopper in 3 BNSF liveries, a 3-bay ribbed side covered hopper in BNSF livery, and an 89-foot auto rack in BNSF livery. Fair enough. The pack promises tons of railroad and operations, timetabled services for Cajon Pass based on BNSF symbols and consists include intermodal, manifest, and unit train movements, as well as subdivision locals, road switches, and turns. 4 scenarios are included on Cajon Pass, as well as 4 bonus scenarios on the San Bernardino route. And the pack also provides a Union Pacific layer with drivable services on the BNSF main line and Palmetto cutoff. Interesting indeed. So when we move over to the pictures, here we are. They look pretty cool, actually, I will admit. Especially the scene where you got one coming up on the line and another one on the other side of the line, both going opposite directions. That's pretty cool. So if you want to pause and have a look at the screenshots, you can do. If you want a better look at them, there's always the Train Sim World article that I have linked in the description below. In the meantime, we will move on to the Southern Pacific Ore Lines Hayden branch from High Iron Simulations. So another one from High Iron Simulations again. So, High Iron Simulations' first Train Sim World 6 route is receiving its first details while locomotive and rolling stock work continues and gameplay development has begun. Equipment for the route will include Southern Pacific's Electromotive GP35 SPC30-4 steel bay window, mega built or hauling gondola with dumping capabilities, 43-foot acid tank car, and Southern Pacific 56-foot anode flat car. Interesting. Gameplay in the form of timetable services and scenarios promises the complete experience of operating this famed branch line railroad from loading copper ore at the mine to road haul, to unloading ore at the smelter, to handling outbound copper tonnage. Interesting. We'll be keeping you posted on their current developments and maybe a sneaky look at the next project in the United States in future roadmap updates ahead. So there will be some future roadmap updates on this, but for now, this is the information that we got from the April roadmap. Of course, here is some lovely screenshots of what they are working on, which they do look incredible. They certainly do show quite a bit of detail. Obviously, I don't know anything about this area, so correct me if I'm wrong if you would like, but they do look detailed to me, and it looks pretty cool. Anyways, moving on to the Tadami line, which, to be fair, this has been highly anticipated, so it's nice to see an update from Union Workshop, which are continuing their work on Tadami Line. Development of the route is progressing well, and the team are spending additional time working on community feedback to implement passenger models that are more representative of commuters from Japan. While the roadmap update is shorter this time around, we do have a bunch of new screenshots to share with you today. Be sure to look out for future updates to the Tadami line in further communications down the line. Okay, so what I have included here is a lovely screenshot, because obviously they had 5 screenshots in total, I believe. Yeah, 5 screenshots in total. So this is the first one, and then the next 4 are on this page, which, I gotta tell you, this looks so good, especially the one in the snow. That looks so brilliant. And I've got to be honest with you, I wasn't really bothered about this route when I first heard about it, but the April roadmap has definitely given me a good insight to this route, and it looks really stunning. I can't wait to get my hands on this route and do a first look stream and video on this. So hopefully on the Rex Tactics channel you'll be seeing more than just UK content being reviewed. That is the hope going forward. Anyways, we will be moving on to the West Coast Mainline crew to Preston from Just Trains. Now, there is a lot to go through on this, so I'm not going to go through it all. But one thing I will go through is just this top paragraph here. So Warrington is located around halfway between Crewe and Preston and is called up by most express services, whilst DMUs and local hauled services from North Wales to Manchester and Yorkshire also stop here as they transition from the Chester line via Helsby to the Chat Moss via Newton Le Willows. Positioning yourself on the south end of Bank Quay station is a great way to spend a few hours in the route, as the comings and goings are pretty much constant. So already we're getting such a lovely picture of Warrington Bank Quay here, which a lot of people who live on the West Coast Main Line or have Warrington Bank Quay as the local station will know it is a very busy station, obviously with Avanti services going up and down, northern services here and there, but this is going all the way back into the 80s, so you'll be having like regional intercity services, regional passenger services and stuff like that, and some long distance intercity services from Euston as well. So definitely worth pointing out that Warrington is a very busy station. Seeing considerable traffic 24 hours a day. To the south are Manchester Ship Canal sidings and Walton Old sidings. The former is utilised by the merry-go-round coal trains, which must reverse here to access Latchford sidings, where they again reverse to head west to Fiddler's Ferry Power Station. Okay, so that's really, really cool. Which, to be fair, nice that we do have some like merry-go-round coal stuff that's going on. So it's not like end to end and that's it. There's a little bit more going on here, which is what we like. We do like to see things like this, especially from Just Trains themselves, who of course have made Blackpool branches in the past, Overshap. Really nice to see some in-depth, detailed stuff coming from them. So if you want to read more of this, you can do, pause the video now. But likewise, we will be moving on to the screenshots. I'm sure there is so much more to read from that. But for now, whilst we've got the time, let's have a look at the screenshots from the route, which they do look stunning. We've got a Class 47 there by the looks of things, which looks pretty cool. And of course, a shop name in the background, which I've noticed is called Quick, a Shop and Cafe, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool actually, because it's better than just seeing Traveller's Fair all the time, if you get my meaning. So like, there's a little bit of difference in there. Of course, we've got the Class 86-4 going through Warrington Bank Quay, I think it is. Yeah, Warrington Bank Quay there. We've also got a Class 47 doing the merry-go-round coal trucks, and of course the Class 20 doing so as well. Moving on to the Schneffelstreck Nürburg to... Oh no, I can't say that, sorry. I'll have to try and pronounce that again maybe next time. But for now, we have a couple of shorter updates from TSG on their current projects, starting with Schneffelstreck. The route is now complete, so the team at TSG will be looking to shut off next month, along with seeing the München to Nürnberg Express in action. So I've got a lovely picture there. I don't think there was any more on that. I can't remember any more pictures on it. So we'll then move on to Neckartelbahn, Heilberg to Neckarels from TSG. Of course, if I'm pronouncing this really, really wrong, I do apologise. Not intentional, of course, but I'm trying my best here. So originally announced during the December 2025 seasons of reveals, which is really good. Nek Taliban, I think I've said that wrong, was met with curiosity and excitement over the return of a much requested local type since the last appearance in Train Summer 4 Steam, being the Flying Scotsman. Yes, you can see hiding in that picture there a steam locomotive, which is awesome. In addition to the BR23, TSG are happy to confirm a backdated BR140 will also be included with the route. So here I've put in a little bit smaller picture here, but obviously I had to fit it all in. The BR Class 40, which is backdated, so pretty cool, eh? We then move on to the Mildmay Line Richmond extension from Incredible Trains. So Johannes has said, after what has been quite a chaotic year for me personally, balancing work on Birmingham to Crewe alongside finishing my degree, I'm pleased to say that I am now back to full-time train sim world development, which is fantastic. With that, I can finally report some solid progress on the extension to the Mildmay Line route add-on. I've included a few screenshots of Richmond Station to showcase the work completed so far on the station, which is starting to come together nicely. I can also confirm that for players who own both Great Western Express and the BR Class 484 DLC, there will be drivable Class 484 services appearing on the route. These will be reskinned into London Underground livery, similar to the implementation seen on Great Western Express, which I think is really cool, to be fair, considering the fact that they will be representing the D-Stock, so pretty cool. One of the long-standing issues with the route, passenger spawning, has now finally been resolved, which is good to hear. After a lot of investigation, I discovered that the route was using too many dioramas, and due to a core issue, these were preventing passengers from spawning correctly. I've now worked around this by duplicating the relevant dioramas into Mildmay Line route add-on and locally removing the problematic code. This fix will be included as part of the extension. Wonderful. While most of my recent work has focused on scenery and station development, my next steps will be to begin implementing Train Sim 6 features, as well as ironing out the remaining bugs that are still present across the route. Okay, so it sounds like a lot has gone on here, lots of good stuff, and Johannes is working on it pretty well, so I cannot wait for the Mildmay Line extension. But for now, we do have a little bit of a tease here with these lovely screenshots here. Also, a little bit more dialogue, so I'm feeling confident that the development is now in a strong position, and I'm aiming to have the extension ready fairly soon so that you can all get your hands on it. Finally, do keep an eye on future updates. I'll soon be able to share details on another project I've been working on over the past few months. Okay, so we're now knowing that Richmond extension is not the only thing Johannes has been working on. So I'm intrigued now. Will it be more overground? Who knows? But these pictures, they do look fantastic. Obviously, Richmond Station as well. So, yeah. Roll on, Mildmay extension. Next, of course, we've got the Ryan Nearsbahn from Fuller's World. I don't know if I've said that right, but carrying on. Work on the Ryan Nearsbahn is progressing well, with the team now shifting focus to the freight aspect of the route, including industrial branch lines as well as detailed yards and the freight bypass between Rayedit and Viersen. Sorry for the pronunciations there, people. The team are getting into the final stages of development, which includes gameplay and the timetable. The timetable itself is close to completion, but the team are still looking into creating interesting scenarios that bring out the charm of this industrial yet busy route. We are very excited to show you more from the Fuller's World team in future, who are working very hard to create a truly interesting route. Okay, so it sounds like they're bringing some German content, I must admit. So here we are. Yes, yeah, definitely. We have the ICE there on the bottom right-hand corner. We have a lot of interesting stuff with this route as well. So these pictures, they do look really nice. If you'd like to pause and have a look at these pictures, you can do now. Likewise, we'll be moving on to additional add-ons in development. Okay, so we haven't got any updates to share this month for the following add-ons, but they are still progressing well with their respective development teams. We'll share more info on these soon. These add-ons are the BNSF Snoot Nose SD40-2 from Adamovic Productions. Nice. West Coast Mainline Milton Keynes to Crewe from All Aboard Studios. Yep. Freightliner BR Class 70. the Lisbon to Septul from Virtua 360, the Cumbrian coastline, Carlisle to Whitehaven from Just Trains, and the DBBR 420 from TSG. No news doesn't mean progress has stopped, and we'll update you soon when we have more to reveal. I did bring that little text at the bottom from the November roadmap. That still remains here because obviously, it's true. No news is good news in terms of because there's stuff going on in the background. So don't fret, these things will be coming. State of the game, April 2026. So this is where they start looking at some issues, which is the add-on mountain and blurred textures. So obviously they do talk about the mountain and the blurred textures. If you would like to read through this, you can do. It is quite a bit to read, and I am a bit conscious for time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the patches and updates. You can obviously pause that anytime you like, have a look at anything you like on the video, but we must move on to recent Trains Music's patches. I was only able to find one. If there has been more, please do let me know. But Frankenbahn Stuttgart to Heilbronn update was a recent patch that happened. Upcoming patches and updates will feature improvements coming to the BR Class 90, which will include a short-term hotfix first and then a longer-term update. Medway Valley Line add-on as well, so the PS5 audio improvements, as well as probably a few other things as well. We also have our next core update for Transmo 6 coming in the next couple of weeks, and we'll confirm a full changelog of improvements with you all ahead of the release. We'll continue to address further community feedback for add-on releases and core improvements closer to the time of the patch release. So what we know is there's going to be more updates and a core update for Transmo 6 coming in the next couple of weeks. So definitely do keep your eyes peeled for that, because they will be happening at some point. Okay, so then we move to a community corner. I've not actually done this on my roadmap videos before, but I thought I'd include it because obviously something interesting happened over the Easter period, but we'll get to that in a moment. First of all, we're going to be looking at the April Monthly Mastery Challenge. So for Tier 1, you have to drive 20 miles or 40 kilometres and exceed 100 miles per hour or 160 kilometres per hour. That's an easy tier for me. Tier 2 will be then to collect 6 collectibles across any routes, probably, complete 3 scenarios over any routes, and complete 10 timetables over any routes. So I think this is pretty nice. You get a Visit Germany poster and an April 2026 Transmo 6 Challenge badge, which looks really nice. We then move over to the Southeastern Relay Race livestream. So you may have seen that over the Easter weekend, a group of content creators got together to complete a full relay race on the Transmo 6 and Train Simulator Classic. Their journey started at London Victoria on the Chatham Main Line in Train Simulator Classic. If you haven't seen it, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube via Richie Rail's channel. I was part of this relay race, and I have to say this. Richie Rail is really good at planning the relay races with us. We've been putting in lots of different ideas, all of us, together, thinking on this relay race, and the finished product was fantastic. I proper enjoyed my involvement in this. So looking forward to the next one, Richie Rail and everybody else who was involved last time. But my section of it was from Rochester. I took control of another Class 465 on an express service towards Faversham. So if you do want to watch that, please do go over to Richie Rail's live stream and have a good look. And we come towards the end of the video with my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on the April roadmap are, this seems to be a really good roadmap. Not a lot of updates on some things, but a lot of other updates on some good stuff that we will be finding soon. And I'm not trying to say that all the stuff that didn't have a lot of updates aren't good stuff, because all of them are really. But obviously, I do have my own opinions, and I am looking forward to the Tadami line from Union Workshop, which I have put in brackets. Yes, I am truly excited for this, which I explained earlier. The West Coast Main Line crew to Preston from Just Trains, that has been highly anticipated. Mile Main Line improvements, because, well, the Class 90 short-term hotfix and a long-term update, because, well, it's a DLC I've been wanting to get hold of, so hopefully when they fix it, I'll be able to pick it up. West Coast Main Line, Milton Keynes to Crewe, because obviously Trent Valley is 108 miles. Lots of room to stretch the Pendolino's legs, and I've got to be honest with you, we really do need that section of the West Coast Main Line so that we can do a full-on Euston to Carlisle run. And then, of course, the Class 70 Freightliner, because who doesn't want a Class 70 in Train Sim World? I know for a fact there's not many people who probably thinks that, because we all can't wait for this add-on. So, honestly, can't wait for it. And, of course, the Cumbrian Coastline Carlisle to Whitehaven from Just Trains. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a good little DLC, that one, with quite a few stations along the way. Of course, if it doesn't make this list for me, I'm either slightly interested or I do not plan to get the route/DLC, so we'll see. You know, I have shown interest on some other stuff that isn't on the list, but at the end of the day, it just depends on whether I want to grab it or not. Some people in the community will, so if they do, and they do some review videos on them and streams, go have a look, go have a watch, you might find that you might be interested in it after all. I know for a fact I will be watching theirs as well. So this is going to be the end of today's video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please do comment down below what you thought. Subscribe if you haven't already. We are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. Leave a like and I will see you all in my next roadmap review video. But until next time, see you all later.